see if I remember how to do this. Man, not me coming back to this like that TikTok meme. Hey, how y'all doing? Just coming back from who knows where.
How y'all doing?
Hey there, new IDs. It has been a while, hasn't it? I know I have a lot of explaining to do, and I'll get there, I promise. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Nyla. I'm a learning experience designer, and I design adult learning experiences for the corporate space. This is I'm New Here, a podcast for new instructional designers. Boy, am I glad you're back because I have a lot to catch you up on, so let's do this. Over a year ago, more like 18 months ago now, I was sitting in Houston, Texas. I was freshly furloughed, and I was staring down the barrel of a pandemic that still won't stop. I decided to launch a little side project that turned into something much bigger, and you're here listening to it right now. You all have been so kind and not to mention patient with me about this podcast, and I thank you so much. Now, I'm not going to apologize for the long hiatus because I'm going to stop saying I'm sorry for things that needed to happen. It's what needed to be done after the year we had in 2020.
Mysterious pneumonia outbreak in Wuhan, China.
A new type of coronavirus.
The number of affected countries has tripled.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
The city supports all essential workers who are showing up every day.
It's still March.
Everybody right now is worried that TikTok's going to be banned in the United States.
Normal life canceled.
11 days into the national lockdown.
All public gatherings banned.
Working from home is the new reality.
Are any of y'all wearing pants? Now be honest now.
School is closed.
For the remainder of the academic year.
Guys, what happened? It kicked her off the internet. Yep.
I see Brennan.
As we all managed to deal with all the many things going on last year, I also had a lot to deal with. There was a layoff, quarantine. I unfortunately had to deal with multiple deaths in my family, a freak snowstorm in Houston, Texas, and then to top it all off, I decided to move internationally. So if you don't know yet, I moved out of Texas and I now live in the Netherlands. Moving internationally during a pandemic is no joke. But what an experience it's been, and I look forward to sharing parts of it with you. And I have to say, this is all going to make for a very interesting chapter in my future memoir. That's for sure. As I continue to process grief and the collective trauma of the last year and a half, I do think I'm ready to dive back into production of the podcast and talk about instructional design again. That's because a big part of where I am now is because I jumped out on faith and really leaned into this career path. Big transparency though, I don't think this is a dream job, and that's because I don't have a dream job, and I finally come to that realization. And I saw this on Twitter and I totally agree with it. I don't want a dream job. I want to find a job that aligns with my dream life, and I think I've found that. And hopefully my little podcast can help you do the same. So things won't change much around here. There'll still be relatively short episodes between 15 and 20 minutes, sometimes shorter. But I decided to invite a few guests to join me this season, and I'll post our longer conversations on Patreon, where you can get access to everything for $2 a month no matter what. I'm not making the Patreon to make a bunch of money, but there's a lot of work that goes into production, and for the longer conversations, I think it's easier if I post them there. Episodes are still available wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, you can email questions to thenewhereshow@gmail.com. If you're an OG listener, then you know the show has 3 main segments. The meat of the episode, what we just went through together. Then homework, and then resources. I definitely did not forget to come on here and assign you some extra work, so don't worry. But I will start out with something easy. So since season 2 is going to be about how to move from an entry-level role in corporate learning to a mid or senior level role, I think this week's homework should be about revisiting what you want out of your next role. If it's to work from home, or to work less, or to work more, or just to do different work, this is what you need to do. Write out exactly what that would look like for you. And I do mean write, like get a pen and paper and write it down. This is the only way to know what serves you, what you need to work towards, and how to get there. Okay, so maybe you need some help writing out what you want. Well, I have a resource for you. Have you considered a guided journal or prompts? Well, did you know that I created a digital career journal as a companion piece to season 1 of the podcast? The digital journal is a PDF version of an actual journal or planner. It looks just like one, it's just on your iPad or tablet. These PDF documents can be imported into your favorite note-taking app, meaning you can bring your planner with you wherever you go. You can pull up the app on your tablet or on your phone. They even mimic the look and feel of a traditional planner, like I said. So no more carrying around or losing your journals and notebooks for a million different projects. They're all in that one device, and you can keep them all together. No extra weight or things to remember, extra room in your handbag for those things that really matter. And I have a few downloads for those who join my Patreon. You can get access to try it out for free. Before I took the much needed hiatus in season 1, I had a whole list of topics I really wanted to talk to you all about, and I just didn't have the bandwidth to record all those episodes and edit them and make them a little more polished. What I'm going to do is post the raw audio of those to the Patreon, and you'll have access to them. Some of those topics include building a portfolio, how to prep a toolkit as an instructional designer, like all the paperwork and forms you may need to use, whether you're an internal consultant or external consultant, stuff on scenario building and interactivity and e-learning, a whole lot of stuff, including how to pitch to a conference. So if you're interested in hearing those, go ahead and sign up for Patreon. It's pretty affordable. It's just where I'm going to put all the extra content I have that maybe isn't as polished, but still has some really valuable information. And one more resource for you, check out the Learning Jam YouTube channel by Amanda Wynn, also known as Amanda LXD. If you're into the visual design side of e-learning development, her channel has some great tutorials for how to prettify your learning solution. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of I'm New Here. It feels good and a little scary to be back, but let's keep trucking along together. For more tips or to read the show notes, head on over to nylalxd.com. And if this was your first episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you can catch season 2, episode 2. As always, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Or you'll hear me next time. You won't see me, but you know what I mean.